Greetings, Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. This is your Western forecast for 2024. This is a big transitional year because the three outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, which is always involved with life-altering changes, they're all on the verge of changing signs. And so they will all three be in harmony in new signs in 2025. And so that's the beginning of this new paradigm shift for the world. But let's bring it down to the individuals where it makes more sense for you. So I always start with Jupiter and Saturn. Now, Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So all transits of Jupiter will impact you very personally. Now, Jupiter is the planet of expansiveness, opportunity, and growth. Saturn represents the work that needs to be done, where we need to be focused, grounded, and realistic. If we face our fears, that's Saturn, and work through them and do the work, stay focused and disciplined, you will be rewarded, which is indicated by the Jupiter. Now, Jupiter was in Taurus once every 12 years from May of 2023 until the end of May the 25th, 2024. So when Jupiter's in Taurus, it's 6 signs past Sagittarius. When Jupiter is in the 6th, there's more job opportunities. Jupiter's always seeking knowledge, so you may be learning new job skills. But the 6th house can also be dealing with body maintenance. If you're not careful, Jupiter here can, because it's expansive energy, you could gain weight. But the Jupiter in the 6th could also be where you're learning, that's that Jupiter, is how to take better care of yourself and learn more about nutrition and exercise. So that's the Jupiter in Taurus, the first 5 months of 2024. Then the Jupiter, May the 25th, 2024, goes into Gemini for 1 year till June of 2025. Gemini is opposite Sagittarius. So your ruling planet Jupiter, all that expansive energy, is moving into your opposite sign, which is the 7th house of marriage, partnerships, contracts, but also all your customer base or clientele. So the significant others in your life. That the Jupiter, starting at the end of May, wants to start expanding and bringing more opportunities. This is often a time when people get legally married, or they make some kind of legal financial commitment, like getting a house together, even if they don't get married, because Jupiter also represents the legal system. And now Jupiter isn't a romantic planet. It's more about seeking knowledge, prosperity. But when it moves into the 7th house of marriage, partnerships every 12 years, if you've been dating somebody, and Jupiter can be connected with the legal system, often it's about making the partnership more legal, like with a marriage. Now, Saturn is a 29.5-year cycle. Saturn went into Pisces, into your 4th house sector of home, family, and real estate in March of 2023. Because Pisces is 4 signs past Sagittarius. Saturn is where one is more focused, where there's more challenges, where there's much more responsibilities. And it could be around family, about home repairs, about real estate. That Saturn continues in Pisces in your 4th until February of 2026. So you've already had about a year of it, and now you're going to have 2 more years. where that Saturn, this is where all the responsibility and work is focused on home and family. Now, Uranus is one of the 3 outer planets. Uranus is all this revolutionary, rebellious, technologically advancing energies. Uranus is an 84-year cycle. Uranus went into Taurus in 2018, and it leaves Taurus in July of 2025. I'm bringing it up now because Jupiter is in Taurus, and from May of 2023, from May of 2023 until the end of May 2024, Jupiter and Uranus are both in Taurus. But it is April the 20th, 2024, that the Jupiter finally catches up and is exact degree with Uranus at 21 degrees of Taurus. So if you know your horoscope at all, if you have any planet within a degree of 21 Taurus, or any favorable aspect, like from Capricorn, Virgo, around that 21 degree point, that Jupiter is all this growth and opportunity. The Uranus could be the unexpected, the breakthrough. Now that Jupiter-Uranus can be this really exciting, now it's once every 13 years, doesn't happen very often, and it could be this real breakthrough energies. Now the Taurus, this alignment, is in your 6th house. And that could be getting the job of a lifetime. Let's hope so. Or finally deciding to start to launch your own business. So you become more independent, be your own self-employed. That could be this windfall. 6th house can also be dealing with body maintenance. And if there's any type of health issue, Uranus can be this technological advancements or alternative treatments. Jupiter brings the luck and the opportunity. So it could also see if that you could fall into if you're needing some kind of treatment to the body. That Uranus-Jupiter could also be that's very good luck and good fortune with some kind of new techniques. Now, Saturn in Pisces in the 4th house. Saturn's what we're worried about. Saturn's where we're taking on all this focus and responsibility with family, with real estate. That's the 4th house. Now, Jupiter is moving into Gemini in your 7th house of marriage and partnerships. And I've already mentioned how Jupiter can be more legally motivated. And so a lot of Sag-rising people who've been dating but haven't, and maybe they were thinking about it or maybe not, this could be the year from end of May through the following May of getting married. That puts the Saturn about taking responsibility and commitment for having a home, for building a nest. So that Jupiter in the 7th of partnerships and marriage with committed Saturn in the 4th house of really wanting to lay down roots and get married and get into a home. Now, when Jupiter is in Gemini, however, Gemini forms a 90-degree angle of tension to Pisces. So Jupiter forms what we call a square or a 90-degree angle with this Saturn. The Saturn squares every 7 years. Now, these 2 planets, Jupiter wants to expand. Saturn is all that discipline and focus. But Saturn can be very cautious, and Jupiter wants to expand, and their attention with one another. This is only going to happen in August of 2024. And that could be when you're getting really concerned and worried about investing, let's say, in property or making a commitment for marriage or some kind of legal commitment. And in August, could be that you're hitting the wall, and there might be some financial worries and concerns, but I'm bringing it up because it's a bit of a crisis, but it's only in August, and then the rest of the cycle is so much more favorable, especially as I start discussing the karmic nodes. The North Node, the karmic North Node, is pulling us into our future. Why I call it karmic, why astrologers call it karmic, or it's about pulling you into your destiny, it's designating this kind of energy flow that your ego can't really avoid. Here you is, you're going for the ride, or you're resisting it, but you're still being propelled down that river of energies. But it's going to be in Aries, which occurs, the North Node in karmic Aries, once every 18 and a half years. Aries is a fire sign compatible with Sagittarius, a fire sign. Aries is 5 signs past Sagittarius. So this karmic pull of the North Node is going into your 5th house sector. The 5th house can represent many things. One thing it represents is children. And being a North Node, a karmic North Node, you might be having a child, which was completely unplanned and unexpected, maybe. That could be that sense of destiny and karma. But this 5th house can also be about investing and so taking a big risk to invest, and that could be the Saturn in the 4th house of commitment and real estate. This began in July of 2023 till January 2025. So you already got some clues the last 6 months of 2023 and all of 2024, that karmic pull towards the 5th house. 5th house is also about romance. So maybe it's falling in love, and with the karmic North Node, you're just feeling it's your soulmate. Or if you've been with somebody for a while, you're finally ready to get married or make a more serious commitment. And maybe it's about having, because of a baby, or maybe getting married, you're starting to really want to have a child. That's the 5th house. The South Node is always opposite the North Node. Your South Node is in the 11th house, which is opposite the 5th. The 11th is, so all of 2024, the 11th can be dealing with friendships. So here's one example, is the South Node can represent what you need to let go, detach, or kind of reorganize your friendships or your group activities and organizations, because your focus is more on your children. Or if you're falling in love and with the North Node, you might be feeling like it's your soulmate. If you're falling in love, then it's time, you might be reorganizing how much time you spent with your friendships, because you're now focused on your new love affair or your new spouse or your new baby. And this once every 18 and a half years. Now, the 2024 transitional year. The 3 outer planets are life-changing, life-altering, and they're all changing signs. Uranus, revolutionary, progressive Uranus, has been in Taurus, which I've been talking about, moving through your 6th house of work and health management from 2018 to July 2025. So 2024 is the last full year. But then Neptune has been in Pisces, transiting through your 4th house of home and family since 2012 until the end of April 2025. In fact, Neptune this year, especially this May through August, it moves up to the very last degree of Pisces and appears to stop in retrograde, but doesn't finally leave Pisces. It moves into Aries until the end of April 2025. So when Neptune, this kind of inspiring but nebulous Neptune, leaves the 4th house of home and family, at the end of April 2025, it moves into Aries, into your joining, well, the North Node would have left, but moves into the 5th house of of children, of love affairs, of romance. 5th house is also very creative energy, and Neptune can be very inspiring energies. And then the big one is Pluto. Pluto, death and rebirth. Pluto, major transformations. Pluto has been in Capricorn. Capricorn can represent the old guard, the old system, government, corporations. And Pluto, kind of the breakdown, revealing secrets, a lot of darkness, and all those areas, especially government, from 2008. But at the beginning of 2023, Pluto gave us a preview into Aquarius. And this January through May, Pluto retrograded back into Capricorn. The first 5 months of 2024 is back into Aquarius, giving us more signs of where this transformational energy of Aquarius is pulling us towards. Then it retrogrades from the June through into November, into middle of November. So by the end of November, Pluto is back into Aquarius for nearly 20 years. And what it's been doing, it's been making this dance from Capricorn to Aquarius. Capricorn represents the sector of income and cash flow for you. Some of you with Pluto could be obsessed in making more money than ever. But others, it just might be this whole endings in big change with income. But now you're moving the Pluto, powerful obsessive Pluto's moving into the 3rd. The 3rd could be selling yourself, selling your products. The 3rd could be learning new job skills. The 3rd that goes along with the selling, with marketing and promoting and selling your ideas. But when Uranus goes into Gemini in July of 2025, Gemini is an air sign, and Uranus is technology. In Gemini, it could be all this technology in communications. That's the Gemini. The Neptune will go into Aries the end of April 2025. And Pluto, by the end of this year, end of November, is now in Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. So when Uranus goes into Gemini by next July, an air sign, powerful transformational Pluto will be in harmony with revolutionary progressive Uranus, and they're both in air signs. And airs is communications and more intellectual properties. But these powerful outer planets are in harmony with one another. Now we have Neptune. And Neptune is going into Aries, a fire sign. And fire heats up the air to have more ideas expanding. And the air is the fuel, the oxygen, to keep the fire of Aries burning. So all three outer planets will be in harmony with one another. But here's an interesting clue of what has been going on in the world. So we've been under a great deal of chaos. It seems like it's worse than ever in 2023 and 2024. Now, because of the wars going on. And I bring that up because Pluto is about destruction, endings and new beginnings, big power struggles. Pluto's a 243-year cycle. Pluto, the last time it was going from Capricorn to Aquarius, was during the French and the American Revolution. And out of all that war and chaos, it was fighting autocratic leaders. So the French were rebelling against the king. The new Americas was fighting against the King of England. And it was this war for personal freedoms, and it was the development of the grand experiment called democracy. And that was 240 some years ago. Now we are fighting for democracy again. There's all this chaos and war happening again. But the last time it hit and the dust settled, we were in a much more culturally favorable cycle for mankind. And I think right now is democracy, with Pluto going about ready to fully go into Aquarius, that a democracy has to be reset. And it has to wake up the populace to really start demanding and fighting for democracy, as we did over 240 some years ago. So that's the positive of Pluto moving into Aquarius. It'll be there for nearly 20 years, so it's not going to happen overnight. But then all three outer planets are in harmony with each other. So as distressing as the world is right now with these wars, astrologically, I'm very optimistic that the future will be better, not worse. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to inquire about my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next year, be safe and well.